down your thoughts and maybe we could have some conversations. Cause I've been thinking, staring out at constellations. What an awesome combination. You and I, me and you.
So Africans today are said to be living in poverty. Alright, so now this poverty is always said to be a financial poverty. But now my biggest concern is actually, is this poverty financial or mental? Right?
Yes.
The reason for me saying this is fair and fine, maybe it might have a financial aspect to it, but that's also because we don't make our own, right?
Which comes to mental, right?
Yeah.
Poverty in mental.
Yeah. Because
I agree with you.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, if let's say now you want to buy a car and the car you want is 1 million rand, but you're only getting paid 4,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
Or 10k, 30k, doesn't really matter. 100k, right? The problem is that car that you are buying is not made by your own.
That is
so you are not making anyone in your own society any richer, or at least alleviating them from this poverty.
From this poverty, yes.
You get my point?
Yeah.
And even for those who do open a business, those businesses are still on these Western standards.
Yes.
Because let's say I make jackets, right?
Yes.
If I were to go make my own jacket, how would I come up with the pricing? I come up with the pricing by looking around, going to shops and looking comparing how much do jackets cost, and therefore I will come up with a cost for my own jacket. And then someone will want to argue, no, but the materials used, what? But that's also another problem.
Yeah.
Why are you buying your materials again from the West?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Why couldn't we produce our own materials where you could buy this material for like 10 rand, 20 rand?
Yes.
And then sell it to another person who makes these jackets.
Yes.
And then who's going to be able to sell it for 100 rand, right?
Yes.
The biggest problem, I think, is the fact that we are not yet at the point where we understand that money does not have value. We give it value.
To the money.
Yeah. Right? Money is just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Someone could have easily said 100 rand is 10 rand. But then what do I mean? What do I mean is that we could very easily get what you can get with 100 rand with a 10 rand. But someone has to say that. But that someone at this point in time is like the Western, whoever controls the world.
Yeah.
But basically what I'm saying, it's the Western standards that make us live the way we do.
Yes.
And they own the economy, however we are the economy. How does that make sense?
Very, 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 very correct. We are the economy, because when you're talking about economy, you talk about the inhabitants of a continent, the inhabitants of a country. You understand? And the inhabitants of the world. When we're talking about China, China is trying to control the world today when it comes to economy. It's because of their population. You understand? When we talk about America, it's because of their population. Because if something is done and then they tend to promote that stuff, it will go viral than if something is done in, like, say, a place like Burkina Faso, which the population is very lesser as compared to America or to Nigeria. It will take some time before it comes viral, because first of all, the populace is not consuming what they are, or even in case where they are consuming their stuff, it will be very hard for the world to know. Whereas a place like Nigeria, you see, like when I come to, let's take for example like about music, you see today the people, I would call them from America, they tend to collaborate with a lot of musicians from Nigeria and even Africa. Because why? Akon spoke about it. Say most often you see the American artists, when they are shooting their video clip, most of those material they use in shooting that video clip is not from them, it's not theirs. Because after which they have finished that video clip, what they do is they order Uber to come and take them home. Those vehicles are not for them. The venue is not for them. Whereas most of the African artists, when you see them, I'll give an direct example like Davido, Whiskey, cars that they make, they shoot in the clip. Most of the cars, they are owned by those artists. So when the American came to realize, because American like to send the image of America like it's the best in the world. When the Americans or most of the artists, they came to realize that okay, these things that goes in the video, they are things owned by these guys. That these guys assets or liabilities. You understand? They tend to like, so these guys, they've got a lot of quits like this. So let's see how we can collaborate. And the fun of it is that the Africans are even the people who consume much more than even themselves. I'm talking about Westerners. You understand what I'm trying to say? This group, they call them Westlife. Westlife make $1 million. It's because of the South African market, which was consuming their music. And they came because of that. They did a concert here in South Africa. And how much money was that? It was still hell of monies. You know? The earlier we realize that we, as you've said, it's not about the physical, financial, what. It's about the mentality. Our mentality. It will tend to consume us. If we tend to make ours to be big, we're gonna hit the wall. It is like the former president of Burkina Faso, Alpha Omar Konare, said Africa will double the population of India in the next 30 years. It will double the population of China in the next 30 years. It will triple the population of India in the next 30 years. Which means when we're talking about money. And if Africa is populated like that, my man, what is it that when you produce in Africa and it's consumed in Africa, why will we be tending to go to the Westerners or to the Asians to go and take their stuff? You understand? The high time Africans tend to consume theirs, to promote theirs, the better for us. The more we become stronger. The only thing that we have a problem with is Africans are not used to this thing of producing weapons of mass destruction, because an African is a happy man. It doesn't have that tendency of like, okay, I have to kill my own, but because the Westerners are manipulating over our mentality, that's why we tend to like kill us. And at the end of the day, they tend to call those who they have manipulated to come to the International Court of Justice to be judged and prosecuted. You understand what I'm saying? They tend to manipulate us. The high time we tend to be greedy to ourselves, the better. Or be more than Westerners. Believe it or not, that's the truth.
Yeah, I think also just from like what you were saying about creating weapons and killing and all of that, I think also the biggest problem is what social media has fed us. All right?
Yes.
Because if you had to think about someone robbing you now or hijacking your car, that person is black. In your head already. Like the person is not here yet. But your thought, that person is black.
I like that.
Right? And that's why TV and social media, things like that, were actually created. So that it creates, like for instance, if in movies you would see that all the black guys go to school and do this, they're successful and whatnot. You as a black person trying to live, you would do something that you've seen a black person do. Like they literally create a picture of how a black person is supposed to live.
That is it.
You get my point? So now all we see on social media, TV, whatever, is black people being violent, gangsterism and whatever. Hence why
all bad things.
Hence why we have so much gangsterism, crime and whatever in black communities. And as much as fair and fine, I like someone would want to tie it down to something else, but for me I think that is a very like one of the biggest influences towards why we have so much, or biggest factors in terms of why we have so much gangsterism
Yeah.
in black communities, crimes.
Yeah.
Realign your thoughts and maybe we could have some conversations. Cause I've been thinking, yeah, staring out at constellations. What an awesome combination. You and